On every Sigma Ligma male's favorite day of the year, February 14th, this year, we all received a special gift. No, not Sydney Sweeney in the Spider-Man suit in IMAX for 3 minutes, which is an eternity for some. No, but finally, we got the actual cast of the MCU Fantastic Four. Gone are the days of those annoying ass tweets saying the Fantastic Four has just been cast. It'll be announced any day now. If I had a band for every time I saw that tweet, I'd have maybe, 10, 12 bands. Basically, we got the cast on this Valentine's Day poster of Eben Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, the Thing, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, and finally, Pedro Pascal as the Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards. Take that, Krasinski. I really like Krasinski, but oh well. So, as far as these castings go, I haven't seen much of his work, but I have seen Eben on The Bear, and I haven't seen all the series, of course, but the episodes I did see, he was pretty good, very charismatic, but also had enough edge to him that I think he could be a convincing Ben Grimm. As well, the design of the MCU Ben Grimm looks great. I like the pronounced brow bones, and the Thing actually has pants on, which is already a plus, and Eben confirmed they're using CGI, which is how it should be, just like they did with Beast. Good stuff. Vanessa Kirby is a fair-skinned blonde woman with the last name Kirby, which is just, and I've heard others share the same sentiment, but it's nice to see that last name Kirby in a Marvel title again, especially for the Fantastic Four. Admittedly, I haven't seen too much of Vanessa Kirby's work, although I do know she's been in some really good stuff like The Crown and Mission Impossible and the new Napoleon movie, so acting wise, I'm absolutely sure she can bring a lot, but most importantly, she just looks like Sue Storm. These two castings are amazing in my opinion. The next two I think were met with the most contention, which is Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things as the Human Torch. So many people were talking shit about this casting, calling him ugly and all sorts of other shit, as if everyone didn't have a hard-on for this man during season 4, okay? I haven't seen too many of his performances outside of him as Eddie Munson, but he is like a pretty good actor, and he was super charismatic in the show, and I think he can 100% pull off the cockiness of Johnny Storm, so I actually really like this casting, and I think it's going to be one of those castings that's very unexpected, but takes everybody by surprise. Last, but certainly not least, we have Pedro Pascal as Reed. Now, I do not hate this cast by any means. I actually really like Pedro as an actor, but I still don't really fully see him as Reed, just because I've seen Reed one way all of my life. But I think because he is like this father figure type cast, he might actually be really good as Reed Richards, and also just because of how clever he was as Mando, I can see him coming up with brilliant shit on the fly as Reed. All in all, I think it's a little too early to tell how any of this will fare, but it's looking bright cast-wise. We also see Herbie in there, which is nice that Herbie is finally in an actual live-action debut and not in, a deleted scene or anything. Apparently, they're looking for a female comedian for the role. Might I suggest one? People have deduced that the movie would take place in the 60s due to, the team forming in the 60s in the comics. It would explain their MCU absence, and also Ben is reading an issue of Life magazine that was from 1963, so it's all kind of adding up to the 60s. Now, whether this is going to be 60s in the main timeline or the 60s in a whole other timeline is yet to be determined, right? But either way, a period piece by Marvel might be pretty cool. Maybe some first Avenger type vibes, but from the 60s. I have heard that the movie would be more of a cosmic adventure, so I don't know how much time they'd spend on Earth to see that 60s influence, but I think that sounds awesome to have a non-Earthbound Fantastic Four. Additionally, it's been said that the Silver Surfer and Galactus, of course, will be cast for this movie as the antagonist. Supposedly, Javier Bardem is who they want for Galactus, and no word on who would play the Silver Surfer, but as far as this goes, there are a couple things that I want to see when it comes to this new Fantastic Four, and the first thing, I guess, is what I really actually don't want to see, which is the origin. Legit, I think it's something we really don't need to spend too much time on. Just like the death of Bruce Wayne's parents, we got how these heroes came to be. Like, we know, we've seen it before. We've had movies in the past already do this. Let's use the existing knowledge of our audience in the same way we did with No Way Home for this new Fantastic Four, and assume they know who these people are. They know they went on a space mission and got hit by cosmic rays, and that gave them their powers. Let's hit the ground running as an established superhero team. Next, the good thing about those past movies, although I still love the early 2000s movies, is that there is nowhere to go but up from here. Truly, we haven't had a really great Fantastic Four movie. We had some decent ones again, but the depth of the characters and the world were not explored to their fullest extent. But also, we have the shit-ass version from 2015. So regardless, I'm like extremely confident we will get a win no matter what. I'd love if we could see Galactus in a non-cloud form, which I'm very excited for. for and I'm looking forward to. And I would love to see him coming to Zen Law and Mallrad's transformation into the Herald of Galactus, you know, the Silver Surfer, maybe mentions of the previous Heralds, and maybe it'll be something where, you know, the Fantastic Four is going around the galaxy, you know, helping different alien civilizations or something, and they meet, you know, the Silver Surfer, similar to like Rise of the Silver Surfer, something where they form an alliance over their loved ones, something of that nature. As far as antagonists go, I would assume that because of, you know, Secret Wars looming, Doom has got to have some type of presence in the MCU really soon. So I'm expecting him to maybe not be the main antagonist, right, but a definite presence in the movie. Maybe he orchestrates the events of the movies to where he gets the Fantastic Four off world so he can do something evil, just to show how much of an intellectual threat he is. At the very least, you know, have Latveria and him being set up or established already would be essential for me. But realistically, a good Fantastic Four movie at its core should be like The Incredibles, you know, which I'm sure someone has already made a video about it. The Incredibles is the only good Fantastic Four movie. I feel like I've seen that somewhere before, but the parallels are like extremely there. They are Marvel's first family. Family might be annoying as hell sometimes, but it is important, and the depiction of family in the first Incredibles and then the depiction of them in the end being stronger together is important. I think the actual family dynamic is what makes this group so special and different. This isn't, you know, another found family story, even though we love those here, but this is a real family with real family dynamics, especially, and I don't know if it'll be the case, but if Franklin and Valeria are going to come through, I think that would only emphasize that family even more. Like, there's this part at the beginning of the Jonathan Hickman run on Fantastic Four where, preceding his start on the main comics line from 1963, you know, volume 1 of Fantastic Four, he wrote this F4 miniseries for the Dark Reign storyline in 2009 with Norman and his Dark Avengers. Another series I would highly recommend. The Dark Avengers go hard, and in that he creates this device called the Bridge that was used to look into alternate realities to find answers to problems that might have been solved in other universes so that he could solve them in his. He used this in large part to see how Civil War could have been avoided, but basically at the end of this, you know, Bridge story arc, by him doing this, it looks like he got the attention of some extra dimensional beings, which when Jonathan Hickman got onto the main universe timeline in issue 570 from 2009, we find out that these beings are alternate versions of Reed, and we are introduced to the Council of Reeds, a coalition outside of space-time of Reeds who go around different universes and essentially act benevolently. You know, they're doing, you know, good for the universe, handing out resources and whatnot. Apart from what I'm actually trying to get to here, there is this awesome part where our main Reed and a variant Reed perform surgery on a universe, taking dark matter out of a sun. Just fucking epicness and awesomeness, okay? But the point I was getting at is that Reed basically has a choice to make. Follow his ambition and strive for greatness by solving everything, but having to give up his family, or continue on without achieving his fullest potential. It's simple. The cost of solving everything is everything. And he ends up choosing his family, his everything, which you love to see, okay? I think that this message in live action would just hit different. It would be everything, truly, and just the type of wholesomeness this world could use. I think having Reed be this brilliant man, this great superhero, and juggle all of that with being a friend, a husband, and a father is something that would be amazing to see. Having Sue Storm be this incredibly powerful individual that would go through insane lengths to protect her family, and then also being a nurturing mother who packs lunches for her kids and plans birthday parties. This is just the most mom shit ever, really. If you've ever been a little kid and gone to a party and somebody else's mom like took care of you in some regard. Ben dealing with his crew transformation, and then maybe Johnny's stubbornness being explored because of the death of him and Sue's mother, and also just having Ben and Johnny being like the drunk uncles who are constantly at each other's necks but love each other deep down. The whole rapport is going to be just such good shit. Overall, I'm actually very excited for this movie because I think apart from the X-Men, this could be a very capable franchise for the MCU. I think also, just above all else, I do believe and I strongly feel Pedro Pascal can very much be the new Iron Man. Not in the sense that he's going to be some pseudo copy of him, right? Because, you know, also Reed Richards precedes Iron Man, but that he will be the level of character that can definitively carry the MCU for at least a decade. And I would love for Tom Spider-Man to have been that and still be that, but with Sony being as dumb as they are and still having control over Spider-Man to the point where they're making all these shit-ass movies, we just really can't count on that kind of instability. Although I do look forward to any of Tom's outings in the future, and I'm hoping for a Fantastic Four crossover with Spidey. I need this dynamic yesterday, but that's pretty much it, players. Let me know your thoughts on the castings, any runs on the Fantastic Four you might recommend to me, and what you're looking forward to for the first movie. That's pretty much it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want on, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I will see you in the next one.